I actually wish I could have this a little bit better, but this is just the camera that I have to use right now. Hi, everybody. Extra, extra, read all about it. This is your daily, your daily tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. Happy full moon in Sagittarius and happy lunar eclipse. I have been feeling pop-offish. I have been feeling out of control. I have been feeling like something bad is going to happen around every corner, but it doesn't. I'm counting my blessings every single day. I just feel like there's such a sense of change. And hi everybody. I just really realized how many people jumped on. Welcome. This is the daily tarot card reading. I have not been on a lot today. I'm covered in sweat and bruises because I'm moving like crazy. I'm getting constantly hit and bruised by all the stuff that I'm moving. It just is what it is. Thank you for all your love. I love you too. I don't know if I can say that back. I don't know. Do I do this? I normally don't do these. On my computer. So I got it. Right back at you. So let me catch you up. The reason why I have been on and off today is because there's been a lot of things that I've had to do. There have been a lot of appointments that just took up too much of my time, and the daily had to drop off. You guys know about the transitions in my life. I am moving out to San Diego, and what that entitles is basically selling and getting rid of, throwing away, or packing everything that I own. And shipping it, sending it, or trashing it, or selling it wherever I can. I've also had to deal, I've had a lot to do with my mother this week because she had to get a very minor surgical procedure to get a stent removed. She has perpetual kidney stone issues. So she had a urinary tract stent that stayed in for 3 months because of the quarantine, because it was definitely not a high priority procedure and they needed to keep her out of surgery. And they also wanted to keep any potential kidney stone problems from occurring or arising, so she wouldn't end up in the emergency room during all the quarantine and COVID scares. And so she had, on Monday, I couldn't do the daily because we had to go get a COVID test for her. That took an hour. And then on yesterday, I could not go on the daily because it took around 2 hours total, really. I had to take her to the surgery place, drive back, and then go pick her up, drive back. And that just took time too. So I've been dealing with all of those things, as well as packing and selling and doing all those crazy things that you have to do when you're getting ready to move. It is June 5th. Today. So that means in under a month and a half, I will be on the road. I start on the road on July 15th to San Diego. If anybody has any leads or anything about apartments that people are renting out there, or if you know if somebody's renting out a house out there, I am a responsible, a financially stable single woman with a dog that is happy to rent some place that's fully furnished, because I will have no furniture when I get out there. So you know how to DM me. You have my email address and you have my DMs in my Instagram. I'm always responding to you guys anyway. So if you have any information, please let me know. I'd rather go through somebody that I already know than, just be shooting in the dark. But essentially on July 15th, from July 15th until the beginning of August, there will be no dailies. I will update you with goofy videos on Instagram Live and maybe YouTube Live from the road, so you can share my experiences. I travel cross country with my son, but there will be no official tarot dailies. I will be continuously doing the tarot zodiac readings, as well as the Vimeo readings. 100% those won't stop, but the dailies will stop, and there will be no personals during that time too. So the time will be blocked off in my on my YouTube. As a matter of fact, on my website, I will block off that time so nobody can schedule that time between the 15th and August 1st. I'm traveling. I'm going across country, so I can't do everything. I can do the zodiacs. They come very intuitively to me. The full on tarot cards and Lenormand spreads that I do for personal readings take a lot of time, a lot more time than actually the video time appears as. So that and there's such big files that, especially on the road and just using data, there's no way that I'm going to be able to upload that stuff. It's not, I know I have experience to try to upload an hour and 20-minute video through data. It's slow, it's painful, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And who the heck knows what kind of reception I'll have out in Arizona or in the middle of like Wisconsin, wherever I am. So that won't happen. This is just all catching you guys up. So there will be a lot of changes. Remember, that starts July 15th. Now, this is what I'm totally freaking excited for, so hold on. My friend Lonnie, who I met when I was working, basically the best corporate job I ever experienced was when I worked at a local company. I won't say the name, but I made really good, honest, sincere friends when I worked there. My team was the dream team, and we gelled immediately. And Lonnie is one of those people that I gelled with immediately. And she started her YouTube channel, and it's called Absolutely Long Island, a play on Absolutely Fabulous, AbFab, which, if you know, was a really famous British television show about women in their 40s, still dating, being crazy, acting like they were still teenagers. And so it's a play on AbFab. This is AbLa, Long Island. And it's hilarious. It's basically her and her sister talking about their escapades, or her sister's escapades, because Lonnie's happily married, in dating on Long Island in your 50s. And so what they did, and I thought it was hilarious, because so many dating sites revolve around the youngsters. You know what I'm saying? They do, or like from 15 to 25. That's the only people's sex lives we care about. And it's crazy because it's like you're still alive after 30, you know what I'm saying? And after 50. One of my favorite shows ever is The Golden Girls, and that was all about them, right? They were in their 50s and 60s. So Sophia was in her 80s. So there's a sense of, there's that really hilarious slapstick kind of real life stories about Absolute Long Island. And she said, Michelle, I want you to come on and talk about dating, because I've always wondered how important it is, how important sun sign compatibility is, because Lonnie's into astrology just like I am. So she knows that a sun sign is a sun sign, enough to call it that, because one of her sisters, of many crazy experiences dating, was that somebody told her they couldn't date her because her sun sign was a Taurus. Or no, somebody asked her what her sun sign was, and they qualified her as dateable because she was a Taurus. They said they only ever date Tauruses. And I was like, well, hold the fuck up. Because that's some crazy shit. Anybody that knows anything about astrology knows. Well, for me, essentially, there's a lot of different combinations that you can use. Please go watch The Leo King, because he's done a whole series about love and compatibility signs. But sun signs are really not the big deal when it comes to romantic relationships, especially not long-term romantic relationships. I always tell everybody, moon sign, pivotal. Moon sign, check out your Mercury, check out your Venus. It's almost like a holy trine. See how all those compatibilities line up, because that's really going to tell you who you're compatible with long term. Also, there is compatibility between your sun sign and somebody's rising sign, or your rising sign and their sun sign. So you can look at that combination as well. But just determining romantic compatibility based on sun sign alone, really, really, really not the best way to determine it. Really not. So please check out the video. It's going to be hilarious. It's only 15 minutes long. It airs at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. So that's New York time, clearly, Long Island, right? It's going to be hilarious. Her husband, Rich, does the editing. He puts in all these ridiculously funny clips. You will have a good time. You will laugh your ass off, and you will learn a little bit about astrology. So it's a good time. It's a good time. I welcome you guys to join me for it. You know, it's a good way to celebrate the eclipse because we really need to laugh our way through this. I think laughter and humor is going to help us. For me, laughter and humor is magic beyond all magic, and we all have access to it at the tip of our fingers. Just turn on Netflix. They have one comedian after the other. Like laughter and humor is all healing and all beautiful. So please do just watch it. It's a good time. Now, we talked about this moon in Sagittarius, and moon in Sagittarius is going to make us want to get up and go and emotionally have a lot of courage and want to start things new. But the eclipse is going to be hitting us with a lot of old things closing out and a lot of changes. So this could be a potentially dangerous time for us because we're acting impulsively. We're not thinking through, and there's a lot that might come crashing in front of us. There is a lot of potential here for things that the unpredictable. However, also, Sagittarius energy does traditionally do very well with the unpredictable. So go with the flow. Improvise. That's what I would say. Hashtag improvise, especially over these next couple of days. Do not expect too much. Roll with the punches. Trust your gut and trust your capability of being able to survive the unpredictable. This is an improvisation routine. This is Second City shit. This is Saturday Night Live. This is humor getting you through. Yes, you have a baseline script, but somebody is going to crack up in the middle of it and somebody is going to go off and you have to know how to react. So just prepare. And I think that that's the best way to go through and get through this and get the most out of this, because this is a great time. I'm going to read it to you guys again. This is a great time for, the universe is calling for us to just change shit. I was watching Steve Judd, a great astrologer. I was watching him today, and I have to get the charts. I have to upgrade in terms of my eye on the sky and get the charts that I can look out every day and see what's going on. But so through him, I learned that July 23rd and July 24th, all 7 planets are in retrograde. What the fuck? I mean, it's just going to be what it is. I think it's like the 15th through the 18th, something like that. The 18th, maybe, Mercury goes into retrograde. And I've already been feeling, I told you, I've had technical difficulties all week. And it's been driving me absolutely nutty. Shadow periods are worse than the actual retrograde itself. I tell you, it's like a dog. Those shadow periods, the period right before you go into Mercury retrograde is like their teeth. And then you have the body of the dog, which might be a little itchy, might be a little stinky, but not so bad, kind of soft and fluffy too. And then the tail end of the retrograde is going to whip you like the tail. So don't think that it's over just because it's over. So my electronics have already been failing. And I think because of so many, there are already 4 planets in retrograde, right? Jupiter, Pluto, Capricorn, and who else is in retrograde? Venus. So there are already so many retrogrades. I just think it's really exacerbating the shadow period for Mercury, but that's my guess. And it's really making it horrible. So if you've been having a lot of technical issues, technical difficulties, electronical failures, you're already starting to feel the effects of Mercury gearing up to go into shadow period. Luckily, later on this month on the 25th, Venus comes out of shadow period. So we might be a little bit more communicative and concerned about other people's emotions right now. Right now, I think the sun is conjuncting Venus, and that's making us really not give a shit about what other people think. Really being unsympathetic, which is why there's so much of us being unbendable and unyielding, and not really caring how we make other people feel. And so, dude, it is what it is. I mean, fires a blazing, guns a shooting. I mean, we come out of a plague and we enter a war. That's pretty much what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying war, but it's kind of is, isn't it? It's a social war. It's a war of ideals. It's a war in our community. It's community war. So, I honestly just say try really hard to not hold on to, but to remember your humanity. Remember other people's humanity. It's going to be difficult, but you must. Remember other people's humanity. Remember that nobody is perfect. Remember that even if they do terrible things, they've probably done wonderful things too. Remember that nobody should have that corporal punishment type of thing that doesn't give them a chance to either redeem themselves or show us a better side of themselves. You know, it's like when we deal with definites or when we deal in absolutes, we throw the world out of balance. And it's going to be very, very hard to not deal in absolutes now. But try. I guess just really try to see yourself in others. I posted that little tidbit of advice on Instagram today. I hope you guys caught it. If you have not caught me on Instagram, what the hell is wrong with you? Get your ass over on Instagram, people. Born_without_boundaries. It's on Instagram and Instagram all the time. Get over there. Follow me over there. I post things on my website too. My website's been upgraded. I love it. I love working with Wix. Hi, Amber. Thank you so much. It's changed everything. I love my website. About to post a blog pretty soon. The blogs I'm posting so far are blogs that I wrote years ago, but I think that they're still pertinent today. So I'm about to post a blog. I'll post a blog later on tonight. A new blog coming up, and I just it's gonna be complicated. I'll put it this way: do not fear change, because change is gonna come, and if you fear change, you're gonna get clobbered, because change is coming. Think of that Sam Cooke song. Change is gonna come. Forget about gonna come. It's on your front door, and it has a mallet and a battering ram. It's here. Do not try to resist it, because you will get punched and bloodied. I'm just letting you know, change is here. You got to open up your arms to it and accept it and try not to fight it. And that's why I'm saying reach out your empathy, because a lot of times we're afraid of change because we are convinced that the way that comfort is the ideal circumstance, and that comfort is the same thing as safety and happiness. And that's a bunch of bullshit. Comfort is the ultimate deceiver and placator. It makes you fat and lazy. Enough with the comforts. This is a time, I think we're dawning on a new age of exploration. You know, within about 20 years time, we'll probably have a permanent route to Mars. This is real, people. This is happening. This is true. Elon Musk worked 16 years to send up his SpaceX to the ISS. His rocket made it there. The astronauts are up there now. This is a whole new age dawning on exploration and pushing our boundaries, not being safe, not being comfortable, but being the absolute best of what human beings are capable of. When we get fat and lazy and comfortable, we stop being what is best about humans, which is creators, liberators, and trailblazers. And I think that it is bursting back. And this is why we're getting these challenges in our face. It's to make us uncomfortable and make us used to being uncomfortable, so that we can continue to do what you need, to be comfortable with uncomfort. Because you really have to be comfortable with discomfort in order to blaze trails and invent things and create things and expand. You have to. Nice is different than good. Understand it, know it, believe it, accept it, because it's absolutely true. Thank you for joining, everybody. Nice is different than good. We've just gotten too comfortable being nice. We've gotten too comfortable, fat, lazy, and happy, wasting away on our couches, heads in the phone, wasting away with reality television and all the trash talk, things that are easy, things that are safe and simple. And that's a bunch of bullshit. So the complacency is over. And what's happening now is to teach us, get strong. Get back on that boat, even though you don't know what's on the other side of the ocean, even though you may think you're about to fall off, still test it. Be willing to get to the end of the world to prove that there isn't one. It's kind of like that's how we have to be right now. That's what the universe is trying to shake us awake. And I think it's just become, it's so harsh because we've been in such a deep slump. We've been comatose for at least 30 years, maybe 50. We've just been comatose. And so this is a shaking us awake kind of moment. Let me read to you from, yes, my favorite book, and no, I'm not getting paid, The Witch's Date book. We'll read it again. Sagittarius is the visionary, the truth teller, the seeker. This full moon underlines the archetypal quest and the first steps taken on the hero's journey. Remember that hero's journey is a son bitch, right? It's only exciting and fun when you're watching it on television and you only get the highlights. When you're actually experiencing it, and the wonderful thing about J.R.R. Tolkien is that I think he was the one, I don't know, the author that has actually stepped back, and through his character Samwise Gamgee, he kind of stepped back and said, you know, I wonder if when people hear our story, they'll understand how scared we were. They'll understand how hard it was. They'll understand that we thought at least a half a dozen times today that we weren't going to make it. You know, when you sit back and you hear all the stories and you admire all those heroic deeds, you're really just getting the highlight reel. You're not getting the day-to-day and the hour after hour that is grudging and hurtful and painful and scary and sad and traumatizing. You're not getting it. You're just living in the hype. And I feel like we've lived in the hype for too long, and we've forgotten that to be a hero is to face fear. That to be a hero is to face yourself time and time again, and to reach out and expand who you are, and to test your boundaries and expand your boundaries. The hero's journey is only fun and exciting for people that are watching the highlight reel. For the hero itself, it is scary, it is sad, it is traumatizing, it is painful, and yet they persevere. And that's what makes you a fucking hero. The moon coincides with a lunar eclipse and is a good time to step out of our comfort zones and expand the boundaries of what is possible in our lives. It is a time to make a bid for freedom. Freedom is not free, peeps. We constantly mistake freedom for entitlement, right? Well, I want to be free, and that means that I get what I want when I want it. Nah, bitch. Freedom is the ultimate responsibility. When you are free, that means nobody's ass is protecting you. You're making yourself safe. You have to be self-controlled when you're free, because if you're out of control, then freedom gets dangerous. We have forgotten these things. We think that happiness is comfort, freedom is entitlement, safety is goodness. All of that is bullshit, folks. It's bullshit. And we have to remember that, you know, freedom it does not come free, and freedom is not safe. You want freedom, you have to be willing to give up safety. And that's the truth. Because safety is 100% an illusion. It is a trick of the mind, and it is a bunch of bullshit. Just letting you know. This moon hold on. What is it? Right. For pushing our boundaries, what is possible. It is a good time to step out of our comfort zones and expand the boundaries of what is possible in our lives. It is a time to make a bid for freedom, to shake off the shackles of the expectations of others, and to envision a world of adventure, learning, and exploration. Clarify your goals and let the arrows of truth hit their mark. Sagittarius is connected to Artemis, goddess of the hunt and the moon, protector of wild spaces and young girls. Isn't that interesting? Protector of young girls. She values her freedom and independence, yet she is also aligned with a philosophical, mystical aspect. Do you know how Artemis protects young girls? Is it with her bow and arrow? Or was it with brute strength? No, that's not how Artemis protects young girls. The way that Artemis protects young girls is by showing young girls all that women are capable of. That women are capable of being strong, that women are capable of being powerful, that women aren't anybody else's victims, and that women are capable of keeping themselves safe, being fierce, and fucking incredible. That's how Artemis protects young girls. She literally shows them all that they're capable of if they're willing to face their fears. She shows them their possibilities, their possible future selves. You don't have to have the man go out and get the meat for you. You have your own bow and arrow. You can learn how to shoot. You can learn how to hunt. You can be strong. You can be a warrior. Artemis was a warrior. Okay. She was also a lover. She did. She was also a lover. I think males and females. She wasn't restricted. She didn't go by anybody else's rules. So there is a sense of the real way that Artemis protects young women is by teaching them how to be strong, independent, and protect themselves. She shows you what you're capable of, ladies. That's what she shows you. She values her freedom and independence, yet she is also aligned with a philosophical, mystical aspect, the moon, right? This is a good time to work magic for rejecting the confines of the patriarchy. What does that mean? Does that mean we hate men? Fuck men? Men are horrible? Absolutely not. The confines of the patriarchy also includes our dependency on the patriarchy. If you one of these bitches who still loves her world up there safe and tidy on a pedestal, your ass is about to land hard on the ground because the pedestals are cracking, right? In order to really reject the confines of the patriarchy, it's also saying, I don't need a man to keep me safe. I don't need a man to keep me safe. Should men be attacking me? No. Should they be violating my personal space? No. Should I be willing to kick somebody's ass or make somebody uncomfortable and call somebody out on their bullshit if they intrude upon my personal space? Yes. We have the strength. That's rejecting the confines. It's not taking over and saying men are evil and down with men. No. It's saying, hey, you know what? I don't need you to keep me safe. I'm responsible for my personal safety and my personal happiness, right? And that goes really deep. I talked about this before. There's so many times women, especially us, half a dozen times. I know we've all felt it. We've all experienced it. We've all slept with that guy. I'm just going to say it. Slept with that guy or maybe that woman that we didn't want to sleep with. And why did we do it? Because we didn't want to say no. Because we were afraid of offending them. Because we didn't want to hurt their feelings. Because we felt obligated because we'd made out with them. How many times have we done this to ourselves? Have we gotten to ourselves? Why? Because we're afraid, or not afraid, we just are so willing to abandon ourselves for the comfort of somebody else. And that Artemis energy is walking into the room, not feeling any obligation to make anybody comfortable. And once you have that strength, ladies, now you have the strength to keep yourself safe. Now you do. Now you have it. So, this is a good time to work magic for rejecting the confines of the patriarchy, to claim the independence and the courage to live as we decree. So we're not worried about what makes other people feel comfortable. We're following our heart and our soul purpose. Artemis, teach me to rewild myself, to hone my vision and step into uncharted places with the fearless confidence of the seeker and the heart of the mystic. Confidence of the seeker, heart of the mystic. Artemis, Diana is the Greek version of Artemis. Phledaeus, I don't know who that is, and Fatna. This was written by Danielle Blackwood. Thank you so much, Danielle, if you're listening. And it is part of, once again, the Llewellyn's Witches Datebook 2020. I'm going to put it up. You can get a screenshot if you want it. It is available on Amazon. No, this is not a paid promotion. I just highly recommend it because it's some awesome shit. Let's get into the reading. Let's do this. Who the hell knows what's going to come up? I don't know. Dude, I'm just here to read the cards. That's it. Leslie, where you at? I love you, Joey. And my baby. My little goober. Yeah, I'm doing this all on my computer. Hey guys, sorry I'm not like responding to your what's up? I'm so happy that you're here with me, though. I'm really grateful. This is general energies, picking up general energies for today, a very good day. The lunar eclipse and full moon in Sagittarius. It is a very gray day. I love full moons because they're so beautiful, but I can't see it today. Oh, the Queen of Cups has already turned over. I'm going to keep her out because the bitch was like, you need to talk about me. So here she is. She is kind. She is giving. She is loving. She is healing. She is confident in her goodness, in her strengths. She is confident in love. She is confident in love, not in her need to be loved, but her capacity to love. There's a difference, right? Because when it's just about your capacity to love, then you don't sit there and make a list of, well, you have to do this for me, you have to do that for me. It's unconditional. And that's what I really love and understand about the Queen of Cups energy is so particularly strong. That Queen of Cups energy is extremely strong because she loves unconditionally. This is a woman in your life, maybe a mother, maybe a grandmother, maybe a wife, maybe a sister, a woman that gives you strength, a woman that believes in you, somebody who has the power to change by changing others. And how do they change others? By loving them and believing in them and bringing out the best in them. That's that Queen of Cups energy, and I love her for it. Okay, Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy, divine feminine energy. Let's see what she has to tell us. Cards coming out. What the heck? Okay. I'm going to roll with it, folks. I'm going to roll with it. We got a shitload of cards, I think, in one suit. But you know what? I trust the cards. I trust the cards. Let's see. I tell you, in my new apartment, I'm going to be having a much bigger counter to do this on because I need it. I also need a better technological setup. I deserve it. All right. Lots of cards here. Lots of cards coming out for what we can expect. But that's how it is in a time of change. There's a lot of outcomes. So we had the Queen of Cups. Don't know where she fits in this yet. Let's get into the reading. Queen of Pentacles. Lots of queens on the table. Amen, girlfriend. So this is a woman who is very strong and very confident in money. Stable with money. You want to know why she's stable with money? Because she knows how to handle money, right? She knows how to grow money. She's responsible. She's sharp. She's shrewd, but she's also fair and kind. And she's a good teacher. You can learn a lot from her. This is a woman who's a really good boss. She's careful. She's careful, but she's not afraid. You know, she's competent is what the Queen of Pentacles is. The Moon, divine feminine energy, the receptive, you know, the passive. Beautiful, beautiful energy for this time. This is full moon here. This is getting in touch with our psychic energy, understanding that not everything is revealed to us. Sometimes there's a sense of you're not supposed to see everything. Part of this, I told you, part of this recipe is faith. The Star card, we're already amongst the moon and the stars, lots of major arcana falling out again. They have been falling out a lot. And no, it's not because of the way I've been shuffling, or you're not shuffling to decorate, Michelle. That's a bunch of bullshit, right? I do a daily most days. Comes out different all the time. There's been a lot of major arcana recently, and I know it's because there's a lot of cosmic shit lining up and happening. There's a lot of things that's fated and that we cannot fight and we shouldn't try. What is the Star card? Yes, Aquarius energy. So we have Pisces energy, mystery, the unknown, the unexplained, the undecided, right? The unformed, but also informed by many, many lifetimes in the past, right? That sense of being comfortable with that illusionary world. And then the Star card is broadening, expansion, community, philanthropy. Also, the star card is the wish come true. Lots of beautiful things coming out. And maybe right now we don't see the beauty yet. The beauty is still hidden. You could see glimpses of it, but that's just to inspire us to keep going. There is a sense of now almost hidden beauty. Let's put it that way. The Tower, lots of change. The city is on fire. The city is burning. Sudden change, violent change. How is this a beautiful thing? Well, there's hidden beauty in these violent changes. The Devil, violent changes. Why? To break us out of these pathways of safety, this connection, this dependency upon things that have become vices for us. And that can be institutions or ways of systems themselves. This is the system. This is the system that gets incestuous in and of itself, the system that protects itself or is trying to protect itself, and that's why it's burning. Let's see, Temperance. It's like I just stepped into cool Caribbean water. Temperance is not a boring energy. It's not what we think. It's not just a peacemaker. No, it's it's divine alchemy. It's learning how to take two different things that are very, very different, and figure out how to work them together and make them work together. You know, I guess you could say compromise, but I don't think that's good enough because there's magic here. There's a tremendous amount of power in being able to take two different extremes and bind them together. Think of the ultimate temperance is the yin-yang sign. Taking two extremes, finding little pieces of each other in the other, and finding that that's what anchors them into the whole. That's the ultimate state of temperance. And then we have Death, all major arcana again. All major fucking arcana again, dude. Transitioning. This card tells me that things are never going to go back to the way that they were. No. The old world is dead. The new world is beginning. The butterfly does not go back to the caterpillar. It's a one-way passage. That's it. You don't come back from this. But at the same time, we're not supposed to. This is a beautiful energy as well, because through those ashes and through that destruction is rising something completely new, but it's made of the components of the old, which means that even when confronted with similar situations, I just did Virgo reading today, and I've gotten a lot of this energy for a lot of the zodiac sign. Why? Because this is the energy now. You're not the same person that you used to be. You know, you might be confronting an ex, confronting an old situation that's coming up again, but you're not the same person. You changed. You changed because of the original situation. Made you stronger, made you wiser, made you harder, made you more aware. Whatever it is, it changed you. So you're not the same person. You're not the same person. So you're not going to be reacting to this situation. It's not going to affect you the same way. We are literally tumbling through this universe at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, ridiculous speeds. You may be on the same planet, but you're not actually even in the same spot in the universe that you were when this shit happened before. We are in a different place right now. So as familiar as all this shit may seem, it's also different. The Hanged Man. We may be stuck with it, learning, absorbing, understanding or figuring out what is the higher purpose in this fucking really uncomfortable situation that I'm in right now. What is the higher purpose? We're in an uncomfortable situation right now, all so that we can learn and that we can grow. And this isn't just about the riots. This isn't just about the plague. This isn't just about that. This is about us and our personal journey, made to be extremely uncomfortable in order to see things from a different perspective. how uncomfortable it is to actually see things from a different perspective, making us feel like our world is turned upside down because all of a sudden we've become aware of this whole world outside of what the world that we grew comfortable with. Well, that was Buddha's journey, right? Wasn't it? He grew up in a palace, and then suddenly it's like he's like in a different world. Holy shit, there's poverty, there's pain, there's suffering. But how beautiful and how enlightened. We're on our way to enlightenment, people. That's what we are because we have been coddled and comfortable for too long. Or a lot of us, societally speaking, the community at large, been coddled and comfortable for too long. And really, we were living in hell, the land of the lotus, the land of deception, the land of illusion. It was all a bunch of bullshit. It was all a bunch of bullshit. We were being tranquilized, and now we're not, and we think the world is just a horrible place, and it's not. But it does include pain, and it does include suffering, and you have to understand that to really reach that enlightenment. You know, the story of Buddha tells us that. The story of Jesus going through hell tells us that. A lot of these major stories and major religions and even major hero's journey, they tell us that. We've been told this story 1,000 times. Why do we think it's all just about, you know, lightsabers and spaceships? You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's really telling us how do we become better versions of ourselves. And that there's a lot of struggle and fear in that interim. Defeat. That says it all. Reverence and reflection. What have we lost? And how lucky are we to still be here? Silence. Prayer, meditation. What do our failures teach us? As well as not just about how to be stronger or how to be tougher, how to fight harder, but also what do our failures teach us about gratitude? What does it tell us? Because we can decide to keep looking at all that we've lost, or we can decide to look at what we still have. Now, this is, why does this all come out together? You have these two wonderful cards. Listen, whatever made it, Camelot's over, people. Camelot's over. It's over. The days of living in like this bubble are gone. It's like suddenly we realized, it's like that first heartbreak you get when you're a teenager. It cuts deep. But it teaches you. It has to cut deep. That's what creates room for a bigger heart. A deep, deep cut that cuts it all the way through. And the only option is to, even if you're going to glue that broken heart back together, the only option is that it gets larger, bigger. It incorporates more. New opportunity. Could be a new business endeavor. You know, I don't think this pain, well, first of all, you've heard that expression. You have to, see, I think that this heartache is something that you have to incorporate into your perfect world. And it sounds crazy, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about incorporating heartbreak into your perfect world, because I think that that's what's missing, and that's because our central energy is temperance. And we've forgotten that life can get rough. I know a bunch of you haven't forgotten, but I think in terms of society, we're like, hide the children from all the scary stuff and don't tell them the nursery rhymes about the cradle will fall. And there's just so much like, put us in a bubble type of energy, and all that crap has got to stop. We need to bring back the finality. We need to bring back the heartbreak. We need to bring back the understanding that this energy teaches us so fucking much. What was I talking about? Oh, I was listening to my mentors. Her name is Laura Leonard, and she runs Talisman and Cauldron. This is her deck that I use. And she had written a blog, and she had said, she was talking, I think she was talking about Doreen Virtue, who had taken out all the negative cards in her new tarot decks, whatever that is. I don't even own a Doreen Virtue fucking deck. Like, so many people work with those decks. I never worked with them. I don't know. I was never called to them. And she said, God forbid I'm a tarot card reader. Maybe I should read. I don't know if I could get it up here. She said, God forbid I'm a tarot card reader and I'm sitting across from a client who lost their child to drug addiction. And there's no cards that represent that in the deck. There's no way for me to talk about it. It's almost like I'm not supposed to acknowledge all that she's been through. Like, that shit isn't real and part of life. How does that make me feel better? By not acknowledging the pain. How? Doesn't make any sense, right? It's almost like, and I love the way she put it. It's like, how dare I? How dare I ignore those experiences? Just to make myself more comfortable? Fuck that. We've just gotten too comfortable. People have bought into too much of that crap because it's marketable Disney shit. Right? It's crap. It's got to stop. You can't just do the pretty stuff. You can't. It's just made us so dumbed down. I know people that I really love who are raising young women to go to protests, to share their voices. And it's wonderful. But simultaneously, these young women, they're 19, 20 years old. They don't have fucking driver's licenses. Their parents still drive them places. Like, how do you simultaneously teach a woman to protest while simultaneously saying, no, driving's too dangerous. You can't handle it. Simultaneously keeping from them that you're sick or that people in the family are sick, because I don't want to worry you with that stuff. Just focus on the protesting and the hashtags. Are you out of your fucking mind? Michelle Wolf put it really well. Go on Netflix because she did a comedy special. Watch it. She was talking about Hillary Clinton and how people have ripped her up as the devil, et cetera, et cetera. She said, what the fuck kind of woman do you think is going to be able to be president? You think she's going to be a nice little mommy who's baking everybody cookies? Nice women have no place in leadership. They just don't. They just don't. And I'm not saying be cruel. And I'm not even trying to get political. I'm just saying that if we constantly sever the difficult and the uncomfortable, and we only focus on and say that the goodness is comfort, and finding that strength is like, you feel good about yourself when you're marching and protesting. But guess what? You need the fucking gas thrown at you. You need the fucking like blockade in your face. Was it supposed to be made easy? Really? That's almost as stupid as saying the protests are 100% supposed to be just peaceful. No, you stay over there. Don't make anybody uncomfortable. Protest is supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to shut down city blocks. It's supposed to block traffic. If it didn't make you uncomfortable, it wouldn't be effective. We got to bring back the discomfort and the heartache. We got to bring back the suffering, not to say that we're looking for it, just that we're not constantly looking to avoid it or deny its existence. That's how we get the full yin yang. We get the dark and the light. We get the dreams come true and the endings and the pain. We get them both. We got to have both. It can't just be a world of really nice stuff. You don't learn anything. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. You don't do anything by just doing the nice stuff. I mean, it's like, how are you expecting this woman? I remember these girls are just like, so many young women. I don't understand. So many of my son's friends who are girls, not just his girlfriends, but my son's friends who are girls, it's like they don't even have their driver's license. They don't drive. Oh, motherfucker. First thing I did when I turned 16 was I hopped in that goddamn car. Got into car accidents too. My mother wasn't happy. Learned the hard way. Had really, really high insurance rates for many, many years of my young life. Listen, I mean, it is what it is, right? We can't, especially with our girls, we can't lock them away and keep them on the pedestals, but also say they deserve leadership. You can't. How the fuck is a woman supposed to lead a battalion into war if she's been kept on a fucking pedestal her whole life? You kidding me? You know what she has to witness? You know what she has to be willing to do to be out in front? Come on, man. Come on, man. Cut that shit. There's so much that we women can learn from men. Instead of trying to constantly rip them up and tear them down and say they're just awful and horrible, we have to open our minds to what that masculine perspective teaches us. Just the way that masculine perspective has to stop treating us like we're nothing, like we're possessions, and dehumanizing people who aren't like us because we're so intent on our own. We're so horse blinders focused on just moving forward and what our goals are. We forget about the wake that we're leaving around the sides. Expect everybody else to clean up that. That's that bad masculine energy, right? That's that unbalanced masculine energy. We're supposed to have both, yo. We're supposed to have the balance between the two. You know, we really are. You know, you're supposed to be able to walk and cry at the same time. You're supposed to be able to make progress even when you're afraid. You know, you're supposed to be able to be strong even when your lip is quivering and your hands are shaking. They go both hand in hand. I've talked about this before. This amazing dynamic. Let's talk about it's controversial a little bit, but Bill Cosby. These fucking extreme reactions that people have to Bill fucking Cosby. He raped what, 36 women was it total? And I'm not even sure that all of them were counted. And so what did the world do? They took off all his television shows. We just won't talk about him or say his name anymore. We live in a really one extreme or the other world, and it is so unhealthy. Bill Cosby was a rapist. He was also a comedic genius. Bill Cosby was a fucking pervert. He was also a trailblazer. He was both. And if we can't live in a world where we find a way to accept both sides of people, we will forever be divided because we won't be able to accept it about ourselves, which means we sure as fuck won't be able to accept it in others. Now, so a world that says just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you get away with murder, O.J. Simpson. But just because you're a murderer doesn't mean we deny, or just because you're a rapist doesn't mean we turn off all your television shows, because all parts of you have to be bad. You're either all bad or you're all good, and we have to polarize. We don't have the capability of seeing that both of those things happen together. You know? Should Bill Cosby be in jail? Fuck yes, he should be in jail for the rest of his fucking life. You have to hold him accountable for the wicked things he did. But does that mean that we shouldn't get to see the Cosby Show or the Different World anymore? That those things should be totally taken off television? No, because they were brilliant. And in and of themselves, they weren't just Bill Cosby's voice. They were a chorus of many different talents. And they helped to inspire and make people the best parts of themselves. So we need to keep those things out there that were inspirational, even though a really ugly person had in part something to do with it. It's a complicated lesson, man. You're not willing to know, you're not able to deal with it when you're 5. This is the adult world. But that's the problem. We've grown further and further away from the adult world. And we've grown more and more into a state of perpetual childhood, where we want everything to be fun and comfortable and everybody to protect us all the time. And we can see things in black and white. That's why all those little mobiles for children are all black and white and shit. Because they can't see the full spectrum yet. We need to bring back adulthood, people. Hashtag adulthood, please return. People who are capable of seeing the full spectrum instead of just black and white, one or the other. Because that shit does not work. Mature minds. Adults, please. We need them back. And adults have had their heart broken, but they've come back. Adults know that just because your heart gets broken, the world isn't over. You don't have to go kill somebody because your heart is broken, because guess what? There's somebody else that's going to love you. An adult knows that. A child doesn't. And that's why I said, it's like in the beginning, I said, it's like your first heartbreak. How many teenagers are so at risk of killing themselves after their first heartbreak? Because they honestly think this is the end of the fucking world. When it's not. And it's surviving that when you realize, holy crap, if I could get through that pain, now I take that confidence and that intelligence and that experience and I can apply it to so many other parts of my life and realize that suffering isn't the end. It isn't the stop zone. It isn't the cutoff. It's just part of the process. Right? That's what adults know that kids don't. And that's why we're supposed to be here for them. And that's why it's also part of why we have to let go. Let them get into the car accidents that are hopefully not fatal. You know? Let them have to work for shit. Let them have to let say no. Like oh my God, how many kids hear that word anymore? Right? A bunch of people complain. The whole fucking millennials are complaining. We have it so much harder. We have it so much harder. Look at all the student debt we have. I understand that. You have a student debt. But guess what? Oh, thank you so much. But guess what, Chris? Thank you so much. Guess what? You also probably didn't have to earn the money to drive that car you're driving. You also probably didn't have to have a job when you were in high school because you had 4 different extracurricular activities planned. So, bottom line is, suffering comes one place or the other, but ultimately it's going to come. You're never going to avoid it because we live in a 3D world, and anytime you have a 3D world, there's a shadow somewhere. You know, shadows are proof that you're living in a 3D world. What the fuck you want? Somewhere, somehow, there's going to be a shadow that comes out. It's going to be when you're younger and it's easier to navigate, or when you're older and it's harder. But either way, it's going to come. So there is a sense of, people, Gen Xers might have had it harder up front, but we didn't have the student loans to pay off. Millennials might have had it maybe a little bit easier because they were more protected. And now it's hitting them hard because, holy shit, $500 to $600 to $700 a month worth of student loans they have to pay off. It's a huge burden. What I'm saying is, it's going to come. No matter what, you can't delay the pain. Like, you may be able to delay it, but you're not going to be able to run from it. You're not going to be able. It's going to catch up to you. This is all major arcana. It's like, this is inevitable. At one point or the other, inevitably, it's going to hit us. And if we're smart, we accept it and incorporate it so it doesn't hit us all at once. What's happening right now is we're being waken up out of the comatose world of of overeating, overindulgence, and too much comfort that we've been in for at least the past 30 years. And holy fuck shit, it's hitting us hard. But to balance out an extreme, you need another extreme. That's just the truth. It's you don't, like, if say a 500-pound person is sitting on one end of the seesaw, you can't put like a 3-year-old kid who weighs 25 pounds and say, why isn't it balancing? No, you got to put somebody of at least the equal weight on the other side. So if you're in extreme, you got to hit the other side with the extreme, and then just trust that things are going to balance out. Finding a way to find that balance, the balance between two extremes. Very hard stuff to do. So welcome to Born Without Boundaries, all. I really appreciate you hopping on with me. Now I'm going to pull some other cards, don't you worry, but these are the conversations that we kind of have. Do I get a little controversial? I guess so. For me, this is just adult talk. I don't think it's controversial. For me, it's just grown folks talking. It may not be kid stuff, but I guess not everything is kid stuff, right? And it isn't. Not everything's made PG-13. I don't have that button switched on my YouTube channel. This is not content made for children. It's not content that I think is going to hurt children, but it's just adult material. And I don't think that we should be ashamed of that. I think grown folks have a right to have a place to talk, right? If you want to sit at the kiddie table, and kids belong at the kiddie table. There's a certain point where you have to protect the kids, but you can't protect them all the time. You can't protect them forever. And that's the truth too. We want to pull. I always want to pull my angel cards. Yeah, that's what. Remember, I did do full moon predictions. I did this last Friday. They've been up for a week. I want to thank you guys for being so supportive. The 2 combined videos have gotten over 2,000 views. I'm very grateful for that. Got 28.3 subscribers now. My goal is to gain 10,000 more over the next month. You can help. You can help by just sharing the videos and saying, hey, yo, follow this bitch because she's awesome. I would really appreciate that. That's my goal. Okay, a lot is coming out. I hear ya. Ooh, too much. A little bit. Hold on. Too much. So what do we get? What's fallen on the floor? Prayer. No matter how difficult the situation may seem, all is possible. Ask. We are listening. One of the biggest things that I think we lost in my lifetime is faith. And I think it was because a lot of us became very disillusioned with a religion, but religion and faith is not synonymous. Religion is the institutionalization of faith, and the institutionalization of anything is a lack of faith in that thing, because it means you have to have scaffolding. You don't think it can hold itself up on its own. So faith and religion are not the same thing. We have a right to pray wherever we're comfortable, wherever we feel God's presence the most. Oh my God, am I talking about God? Did I just say God? Oh, you can't talk about God. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. I talk about God all the time. I believe in God. I believe it's essential for us to have a connection to God. I believe that we're all expressions of God. We're all different viewpoints for God to look out through. I don't believe that God is a man in the sky jerking off his dick and throwing his sperm wherever he wants. That's not what I see God as. But I've come to the conclusion of what God is to me, and I invite you to come to the conclusion of what God is to you, but absolutely believe in a greater power. It's essential. It's essential for not just faith and hope, but for courage. And for not taking yourself too seriously, so that you don't get lost. You don't get lost in your own pain and suffering. You always remember that there's something outside of you. So prayer is something that we all need to get back to. And I don't care how you fucking pray. I don't care if you dance in the moonlight or around fire. I don't care if you go to a church and you have hymns. I don't give a fuck. But pray, talk talk. Because the universe does not speak English anyway. It speaks vibration. And everybody knows that. So as long as you're vibrating harmoniously, the universe will hear your heart. Whatever language you have to use, whatever song you have to sing, whatever rhythm you choose, as long as it's harmonious, the universe, you're tapping in. Archangel Sandalphon, I have heard your call for help. Your prayer will be answered soon. There's healing coming. There's a great deal of healing coming and a presence of something larger than ourselves helping us. Wisdom, everything, when I talk grown folk shit, everything has a place and a purpose. To be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion for things. Woo, woo, don't we need some of that right now? What is compassion? Precious gift. Friendship, family, and love are precious gifts. Do not lose sight of what is most important. That doesn't mean that only your family counts, right? Because we love our family. In other words, the way that we feel about our family should not be like, I'm superior. My shit is so important. That's not what we should be. The way that we love our family should teach us how other people feel about their families. It should teach us how what love means to everybody through our own experiences, as above, so below, right? We are a reflection of the cosmos. That's what astrology is, man. That's what study is. We are a reflection of all that's happening in the universe. That's what we are. That's what our lives are. And in the same way, we're a reflection of each other. So when you think about how important your family is to you, how important your children are to you, how you want the best for your children, then you should damn well understand that other people want the same thing. It's like remembering what you want should help you understand other people's desires as well. It should increase your empathy, not decrease it. Courage. You have what it takes. Just do it. Whoosh. We, your angels, are here to support you. Courage. What was that wonderful quote from Game of Thrones? I guess Bran said, but how am I supposed to be brave? How am I supposed to be brave if I'm scared? And Ned said, when you're scared is the only time you can be brave. It was a wonderful quote. I'm fucking it up, but it was a wonderful quote. It's like, well, do you honestly think you're being brave when you're in a situation where you've been 1,000 times, you're in your comfort zone? No, you have to be scared as fuck. And that's when courage really kicks in. Courage is facing fear. Archangel Uriel, we have Archangel Sandalphon, archangels around, archangels are surrounding us all the time. A great spiritual transformation is currently occurring, you think, both in your life and in our world. This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter. Heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. Mic drop. If it says it better than I can, why expand on it? Think global. You are being encouraged to spread your wings. Think outside the square. You are a citizen of the world. Expand your vision. Imagine the world within your heart. Embrace it. Surround it with love. Let it be, and so it will be. Guys, this is not the same as not having any kind of morals or not having any kind of boundaries. You got to set up boundaries. Just based on what makes you feel comfortable and doesn't make you feel comfortable, right? Boundaries are essential to a healthy individual. Simultaneously, right? This is that contrast. This is that temperance of things that don't seem like they fit in the world together at all. There is a sense of empathy and understanding other people's experiences. So how do we do that and set boundaries for ourselves? Shit. That's challenging shit, right? Think you thought that trigonometry class was difficult? No, this is what's difficult. Finding how to make those two things that seem like they're so different and they're really not. Because when we know our boundaries, we know how important other people's boundaries are to them. Those help us actually remain more empathetic. If we have no boundaries, then we expect to just kind of constantly be sloppy all over each other all the time. No self-control leads to chaos. That's not empathy. That's ignorance. Positive thinking. Positive thinking is vital to create a healthy and abundant life. A positive attitude along with positive beliefs and thoughts are crucial ingredients for creating happiness. Don't worry. Think love. Now, love is unconditional connection. That's what love is. One love. Love is one thing. It's expressed in many different things, and it's incorporated into many different relationships. But love is one thing. It's always been one thing. It will never be anything more, and sure as hell not less than what it is, and that is unconditional connection. Harmony. Disharmony occurs when we try to resist life's natural flow. Everything has its cycle. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose. Every day can be harmonious if we want it to be. This is the one card I don't like because I don't think it focuses on harmony. It tells you what it isn't instead of what it is. But those ending lines are every day can be harmonious if it wants to be. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose. What is harmony, guys? It's not being monotone. It's not us all singing the same note. It's us listening to the notes other people are singing and figuring out where our note fits in at every given moment. Sometimes our note doesn't fit in at all. Sometimes it just shows up once for an accent. Sometimes it's a fluent line running along the bottom, and sometimes with a melody on top. But that's what harmony is. It's listening. Because if we're always in tune, we're not playing the same tune. We're singing in chorus. That's what life really is. It's harmony. It's beautiful. All these sounds playing together to create a lovely, grand orchestra of sounds. You know? It's just so wonderful when all the sounds play together. And you're not just hearing one sound. You're hearing them all together. And it's magical. It's magical. That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about, that contrast of harmony. What are you talking about? It's not one big sound. You know, it is one big sound, but it's made of all these different little sounds. And so you're not hearing just a muddying of all the sounds. You're hearing all the sounds at once. So the large and the small are coexisting in a beautiful way that you don't really have to explain. Just let it, just go with the flow and let it overtake you. Music is one of the key things that we can take in this 3D world to help us heal ourselves. And music is one of those things that so many people can get together with. And I think because music so clearly and easily connects us to vibration. I think it's the thing when you talk about vibration in any other aspect, they think you're woo spiritual, fluffy head. But when you talk about vibration in terms of music, they're like, oh, I know, yeah, music, yeah, it's a sound, it's vibration. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's like the one place where you can help people understand the power of vibrations. Just like the one place that you can help, like, but this is people getting outside their comfort zones, right? I got to be comfortable with what's accepted to be socially correct, so we can talk about it with music, but we can't talk about it with anything else. Oh, you're an asshole, but whatever. The one place it's socially acceptable to ground, to walk barefoot, is the beach. You don't even have to ask. Everybody walks barefoot at the beach. I guess if everybody's doing it, it must be okay, right? For cowards, sure. I ground right there in the dog park. Watch where I step, but right there in the dog park. And yeah, I mean, maybe people look at me, but I make sure to connect with the earth, like flesh to earth every day. I make sure of it. But people that live at the beach never have to get those weird looks from other people, because it's socially acceptable to ground at the beach. So how about this? If you are somebody with a really locked mindset that's scared of differences and change and not being a part of the crowd, then start slow. Go to the beach and ground there. Go to the music and open yourself up to vibrations there. Those are the entry-level places where you can introduce yourself to that higher power and that unseen world that's going on all around you all the time. Now with that, I want to remind you that I will be online again tonight, 6 p.m. It's not live, but it is a great interview. We had a great time doing it. It's 15 minutes long. It's airing on Absolutely Long Island. Once I get the link, because it hasn't been shared yet. So once I get the link, hopefully I can share it on my profile as well, for you guys to really go check it out, make you laugh. Laughter is like one of the fastest ways to bringing yourself back into balance. Seriously. Animals, pets, spending time with them, another wonderful way to get yourself closer to balance. Grounding, touching the earth, being out in the open with it, leaning up against a tree, just breathing the air that they create. Another one of those things that's always available. If you feel yourself out of harmony, you can return to those places very easily. Floating in water. The beach would be great, but sometimes it's good enough just to be in your bathtub with the Epsom salts, right? Bring yourself back into that sense of floating and not feeling that sort of draconian, unforgivable presence of gravity, which is the law that we are stuck with on this 3D world, but there's still more beyond that. We can't forget that it's there just because we don't experience it every day. Or that we're experiencing something more immediate every day. We can't let that more immediate experience make us forget about the bigger picture, right? We can't let our immediate experiences with a person make us forget about the bigger picture of being connected to the wider umbrella of people. We can't let ourselves be disconnected. Just because something bad happens to us, losing faith in God. You know what I'm saying? It's like so many times we really what do? We get bogged down by the immediate. This is the immediate energy. The immediate energy. That draconian, stuck in the 3D world, only the 3D world, stuck here, tied down energy. Losing connection to anything beyond that. That's why it's called the devil. That's what the devil wants us to do. The devil wants us to be isolated and disconnected. It's how it enslaves us. It's how it breaks us. It takes away our ability to be ourselves, because our uniqueness is key to tapping into the bigger picture. So if you've been feeling your life get real monotone and real numb, complacency, I'm telling you, complacency is the real road to hell, man. Just letting you know. Anyway, hopefully I will see you guys later on Absolutely Long Island, and hopefully, and you will enjoy it. I think it's funny conversation. I will not see you guys for the dailies tomorrow or Sunday, but yes, the videos will be out. Scorpio, Capricorn, Aquarius will be up once again on Monday. We'll start the whole process again. I will see you on Monday. Will I? Yeah, I think so. On Instagram, so please do check for me. Thank you so much for all the people who donated. Thank you so much for your Amber and Jackie for being on and administering. I do not get enough time to really. What about coronavirus, Michelle? Oh, I just don't. I just checked these comments last minute. Jesus Christ. Bathed 6 horses, babysat furry grand dog 2. My dogs walk barefoot. I love that, Kimberly. How fucking amazing is that? So, thank you, Adrian. Thank you for being here. Absolute Long Island is not a podcast, Maxine. It's a YouTube channel. Absolutely Long Island is a YouTube channel. It's new. It's brand new. But she asked some really good questions of me, and I couldn't resist. So Absolutely Long Island is a YouTube channel, and that's what it's called, Absolutely Long Island. What about coronavirus? Oh, girl, you have to go watch my dailies. You have to go watch the other videos that I did on Instagram, man. I talked about coronavirus like crazy when it was happening. And the one thing, even with these riots, I always warned everybody about, think for yourself. Mob mentality is disgusting and disgraceful. And I don't just mean like rioting and burning down places. I mean, you as an adult human being with a brain and autonomy have an obligation to research, read, and use your brain before you make any decisions about any situation. If you don't, you are as bad as Derek Chauvin, because you're just going along with preconceived notions and prejudices, shit you heard from somebody else and past experiences. Ignorance is ignorance, whatever form it takes. Okay? You have an obligation to always be present in every moment that you're in and to be active and using your mind so that you react to the present moment, not the expectation of the present moment. Got so fucking sick of people posting this and that and this hashtag and that meme. How many of the people posted that shit and they even watched the videos? I bet you maybe 50%. Maybe. You can't just jump on fucking board. Like I said, you also can't protect your children. It's like, yes, come with me to this rally. Come with me and hold this sign. But also, I can't let you see the videotapes because it's too gruesome. How the fuck do they know what they're doing? I'm just saying. I hate mob mentality. I hate going along with something just because other people told you to. I believe in always looking for the data, making decisions based on measurable quantitative facts as opposed to just rumors or something that you read somewhere from somebody who said this, because that really pisses me off. And I said that with the coronavirus, and I say that with the riots as well. Take your information from many, many, many different sources. Be willing to listen to the opposing side. It's important. It's important to have conversations with people who don't believe the same things as you. Because if you're not having conversations with those people, you're making an ignorant decision. Because you're cutting out a whole other half. And you're not making a wise decision if you're only making it based on half the information. I'm telling you that right now. So that's what I think in terms of any situation, any circumstance. You want the whole picture, you got to be willing to do the work for it, which is research and reading and listening to things that maybe you don't want to hear. That's what I thought about Corona. That's what I think about the riots. I think it's important and essential. That was my overall view. That's why. Michael Michelle Jackson, I don't even know what the hell that is. But did I write a blog about that? I don't know. An educated opinion is always balanced. Absolutely, Peppermint. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Attila. You're a sweetheart. I appreciate it. I mean, listen, we've been the current state of media is disgraceful because it's sold out to make money, but we cannot forget the power of media and the real potential of journalism. We just need to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't throw it out entirely, bring it back. You know, let real journalism make a comeback. Investigative journalism that takes time and facts and data and risk. That may be boring as hell, but necessary. Bring back the ability in yourself to be able to watch an hour's worth of news that's reporting the facts and not need to be entertained every second because you're 55 years old, but somehow you still have the fucking like attention span of when you were 5. Everybody's got to be entertaining you all the time. Come on, man. Come on. Got to come back on both sides. So it's like, I know it's harder now because the news used to report facts. At least we think so. And now it's just all a bunch of entertainment and shit. And who do you know what to believe? Don't believe anybody, but listen to everyone. And somewhere in all of that and putting together all those pieces, you'll get the truth if you keep listening. Because the truth is the harmony of all the voices, not one or the other. And with that, I love you all, and I will talk to you on Monday on Instagram. Have a happy, happy, happy full moon and lunar eclipse. Bye, guys, and thank you so much for the administrators. Jackie, Amber, I see you're on here. Thank you for your hard work. I'm sure we're on YouTube, so I'm sure there was a shit ton of haters on here, so I appreciate it. Bye, guys.